Got a hole, I remember I ain't had nothing. We done sold, I know everybody mad at me. Tell them roll, I know everybody smashing. Get ready, cause you know it about to be a problem. Hey, hope you ready, cause you know it about to be a problem. This the only way we know to go. Squad up, never roll alone.
Hey guys, and welcome to the King's Court. My name is Kabir Alwaya, and that's my brother Kermit. This weekend is one of the most exciting weekends in the whole basketball season, other than the playoffs or the finals. Probably the most exciting regular season period of time, and that's AllStar Weekend. You got the 3-point contest, the dunk contest, the Rising Stars Challenge, which is Team USA versus World, the Celebrity Game, and of course the All-Star Game, and the Skills Challenge. So we're extremely excited for that. So in honor of that, me and Kermit are going to tell you today what event we're most excited for, whether it's an actual event or maybe just like a player that we might be excited to be seeing. So we'll give you our takes on that, and then the buyout deadline is approaching. It's on February 19th. The trade deadline is approaching on February 19th. So we will be, giving you our most likely trades that we think are going to happen or trades that we think should happen. So that's what today's show is going to consist of. All-Star break is one of the most festive times during the NBA season. It gets you a little bit more hype for the rest of the season. So that's what we're going to discuss. We also have a sneak of the week right here, which are the Adidas ZX Flux, and these are the Ocean. This is the Ocean colorway. And then to cap off the show is this, but then before that we will be giving you the upcoming sneaker releases. All the All-Star shoes will be releasing in the coming days, and then you have just a bunch of other shoes releasing, so we'll update you with all of that, and that's coming up. Alright, Carmen, so the first question I have for you is, what are you most excited to see during the All-Star weekend?
Well, for me, I had a tough time deciding because obviously the main attraction of the All-Star Weekend is the All-Star Game itself. But just the All-Star Game, it happens every year, so most people are used to it. And it's usually, the same core of players that play every year, that start every year. So most of the years, we just expect the same stuff that we saw from last year. But what's really interesting to me this year is the 3-point contest, just because, in particular this year, how much more different it is than past years. As in terms of the amount of star power that the 3-point contest has this year, and just pure shooters. Now we don't see random players get thrown in there. Like once in a while in the past 3-point contest, we see some big men thrown in there. Like Kevin Love has been in there. I think Ryan Anderson's been in there once. So this year it's just pure flat out shooters, and the field just quick names that come off the top of my head right when I think about the field is Stephen Curry, Klay Thompson, Kyrie Irving, Kyle Korver, JJ Redick, James Harden, Wesley Matthews, and there's one more who I can't remember right now, but that just all those names, whenever you think of those names, you just think shooter and 3-point shooter. And like right now, Kyle Korver has the best 3-point percentage in the NBA, and actually on par for one of the best 3-point percentages in NBA history for one season. He's shooting 53%. Kyrie Irving is actually, I think he could be the dark horse for this game because in the past 15 games or so, he's been averaging 51% shooting from the 3-point line, which is ridiculous. So, and Kyrie Irving actually, I think he won it one year actually. And Stephen Curry and Klay Thompson, those are Splash Brothers. Wesley Matthews, second most threes in the NBA and 3-pointers made. And just the field is just ridiculously amazing. I'm psyched to watch it because you really can't pinpoint one person who you think is going to win it because everyone in the contest is just such a pure shooter. So I think it'll just be an absolute shootout, and it'll be fun to watch.
For me, I think that a lot of people think that the dunk contest this year is going to be extremely boring because, there's no LeBron, there's no Russell Westbrook, there's no Blake Griffin or whatever. But I still think that it's going to be a really entertaining dunk contest. They're going back to the original format. Last year's format was a dud. Even though they did have a little bit of star power last year with John Wall, they had Paul George and Terrence Ross, all really good dunkers. But just because of the format, it wasn't really all that entertaining. But this year, I really do think there's some really talented leapers. One thing with the dunk contest that I wish happened was I wish they didn't have only 4 players. I wish they had a little bit more. they have Antetokounmpo, they have Zach LaVine, they have Oladipo, and they have Mason Plumlee, who are all really athletic people. But I think that there could be extra room for 2 other guys that they could get. So the dunk contest, I'm extremely excited for it. My pick for the winner right now would probably be Zach LaVine, and then my dark horse would probably be Victor Oladipo. I don't really think Plumlee is going to get that far, maybe probably out of the first round, because to be a big man in the dunk contest, you have to be like otherworldly athletic, and Mason Plumlee is just athletic. He's not like Blake Griffin athletic or like Dwight Howard or JaVale McGee athletic. So I just don't think that he has that, like his athleticism is that much to where he can do like some crazy between the legs windmill reverse dunk or whatever. But the other guys, we saw Oladipo, he did a 360 dunk in a game, so we know that he has hops. He actually did a 360 dunk in college when he was playing for Indiana, so we know he has hops. Zach LaVine, if you guys haven't seen, he's a Seattle guy, so he played in the Seattle Pro-Am this summer, and they had a dunk contest for that Pro-Am, and there's a video on YouTube, and he just destroyed that. So I think we can be in for a real treat for Zach LaVine. Giannis Antetokounmpo this year, we've seen him do that one crazy little windmill dunk in the season. We've seen him posterize Chris Bosh. We know his arms are insanely long, and he has hops. So that means that, with his hang time and his long arms, he can do an extremely creative and something that we've never seen before. So I think that the finals will probably be LaVine and Antetokounmpo, and I think LaVine will end up winning. I'm extremely excited for it. It doesn't have star power, like I said, but I still think that those players, you can't take away the fact that they're really athletic players. The 3-point contest, I'm also excited for, just because of the fact that the opposite from the dunk contest, they have star power. But the thing with the 3-point contest is why I'm always not that interested in it is because, you're seeing different players basically just do the same thing, shoot threes from the same spot, balls, and then the money ball from the same exact spots. And I think that can get kind of repetitive, especially since they have so many players in the pool. So that's why I'm more excited for the dunk contest, because it's more like, something unexpected. You don't really know what you're about to see, and it's more impromptu and it's more creative than the 3-point contest is. So that's what I'm the most excited about is the dunk contest. Obviously, still excited about the All-Star game. My favorite player, Chris Paul, isn't starting, so I'm not as excited as I would be if he was starting. And there's been a lot of injuries in the All-Star game. Anthony Davis, Kobe, Blake Griffin, and other guys just getting injured. So I think the talent has depreciated a little since the first starters were announced. Nevertheless, it's going to be a good game, and I'm extremely excited for the whole weekend. So the trade deadline is officially on February 19th, and a lot of teams are looking to make moves, whether it's the Denver Nuggets trying to dump some players, or teams such as the Houston Rockets trying to make an upgrade, or the Clippers trying to make an upgrade. So I'm just going to ask you, what trade do you think should happen, or what trade do you think will actually end up happening?
So for this trade deadline, I don't see any major moves. I mean, I see some trades obviously occurring, because around this time is where most of the teams want to get all of their decisions final before that deadline comes, and they're stuck with the players that they have. So I think you'll definitely see a lot of teams aggressively going after certain players. But I don't see major names being moved at this point. For a while, we've been seeing Lance Stevenson being shopped around. We've seen Brook Lopez, Darren Williams. I'm just thinking of names, like big names. Recently, actually, Goran Dragic was brought up, as the Rockets are apparently trying to acquire Goran Dragic from the Phoenix Suns, as well as the Lakers and the Miami Heat. And just other names that come to mind, the Miami Heat are shopping Norris Cole, the Kings are shopping Raymond Sessions, the Magic are apparently trying to get rid of Andrew Nicholson. So I think there will definitely be some moves that come here and there. I think the trades that you'll most likely see will be with playoff teams that already have their core set. They're trying to get a little bit better. Now I see the Clippers as having a necessity to improve their small forward position, and also I think around this time is where more free agents start to get signed. Nate Robinson's still available. There's still a couple of nice free agents coming over from China or whose seasons are about to end in China. So, and personally, I know this, that the Cavs are actually looking for point guard depth or a big man to play behind Love, Thompson, and Mozgov. And I think one of the players they'll look at is Jameer Nelson, as Denver's apparently shopping around Jameer Nelson as well. And so I just think around this time is going to be an interesting time of the year, as it always is, because we see teams really at the height of their negotiation level, where all the teams really, you see the full extent of the teams that separate themselves from the pack, as in how hard they know that they'd have to improve to get over a certain hump. And I think there's a bunch of teams who need to get over that certain hump at this point in the season. And so I just look forward to seeing all the teams that are active during the trade deadline, because I'm really interested in that aspect of the game, when teams get talking with other teams and certain general managers talk with other general managers. It's just fun to watch. It's just fun to watch to see how it unfolds. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, for me, I think that there's a bunch of trades. There's a lot of speculation that's been going on. Like you said, the Nuggets trying to get rid of Wilson Chandler or Aaron Aflalo, or Jameer Nelson might leave, Tayshaun Prince might leave. And then there's like Goran Dragic, who just recently came up in trade talks for the Rockets. And there's always going to be a lot of speculation, but imminently, I really don't think anything's going to happen as well. We've already seen a pretty big trade go down this year, and that was Rondo to Dallas, and maybe Jeff Green to Memphis. So as far as there's not that many teams in the NBA right now that are actually looking to upgrade. The only teams that are the primary teams that are looking to trade are the ones who want to trade for the future and just kind of establish, either get picks or just establish their security in the future. The teams that I see that are trying to contend but still need to upgrade a little are the Chicago Bulls and the Clippers, and because those are two teams that have huge deficiencies at their small forward position. The starter for the Chicago Bulls at small forward is Mike Dunleavy, who is solid. He's not a starter I don't think he's a starter on a playoff team, and he's been injured a lot. And then the Clippers have Matt Barnes, who is solid also, but their backups behind him are Hito Turkoglu and Dante Jones, and you can't really have those guys playing backup minutes as in the playoffs. So I think that for both of those teams, you need to acquire a good small forward and kind of move those starters to the bench, like Mike Dunleavy off the bench, Matt Barnes off the bench. I think they're better fits off the bench. So in that case, I see, I think some trades that should happen, hypothetical completely, are the two guys from Denver, Wilson Chandler or Aaron Aflalo, going to each team, whichever one. Aflalo can play the 3, Wilson Chandler plays the 3, and I could probably see the Chicago Bulls getting either of them more realistically, because they have draft picks, they have Taj Gibson who wants to get traded, and Denver has been asking for a first rounder back. The Clippers, on the other hand, they really don't have any pieces. They don't have a first rounder till 2019. And that's like their only first rounder in a while, so I don't think they'll just throw that out there. And then their only young players are CJ Wilcox and I guess Austin Rivers. And then so the only package you can really trade is maybe Jamal Crawford if you want to get Wilson Chandler, and his bench scoring is just a little bit too valuable for the Clippers to give up. So I think that though the Clippers one is a little less likely, but realistically, I don't see any of those trades happening. Maybe a couple small trades will happen before this trade deadline, like Jameer Nelson going somewhere. Maybe the Mavs trade for a backup power forward. Maybe Taj Gibson gets sent somewhere. Maybe Toronto can make a trade. They're looking for a backup power forward, big man. So I don't see anything imminent, like a huge blockbuster trade happening. But I see really small trades. Andrew Nicholson has also become available by Orlando. I see little small trades that could happen that could really push a potential title contender over the hump by getting like a quality role player, because I just don't see any stars being shopped around this trade deadline. Alright guys, so now is the time for me to update you on the upcoming sneaker releases. first, I'm going to kind of recap what just came out, and the day that this recording was recorded is Friday, February the 13th. So today we saw the De La Soul Dunk Highs release. We saw the KD7 All-Star, and we saw the Kobe 10 All-Stars released today. We also saw the Zeno Adidas release today. Those were really hard to get, and something that was supposed to be released today were the Photo Real 29s, which never actually ended up releasing. So we'll see when those come out. This weekend, on the Saturday, the 14th, we have the Kyrie 1 All-Stars, and we have the LeBron 12 All-Stars. And then you also have a couple Jordans. You have the Bulls Over Broadway 10s, or like red cement or whatever you want to call them. Those come out on Saturday. And then on Sunday the 15th, you have the Lady Liberty Jordan 10s for $190, and then you have the All-Star foam posits, which are like kind of like a mirror foam posits, for $275, also on Sunday. The Kyries will be releasing for $130, the LeBrons for $220, and then you have both of the 10s releasing for $190, and then the foams, of course, I just said, for $275. And those are just for this weekend. Moving forward towards the end of the month, you have the KD7 on Pearls coming out, and you have the Oreo 4s. The exact date for the on Pearls are the 19th of February for $170, and then for the Oreos, it's the 21st of February for $190, and then also on the 21st, you have the Kobe 10 Blackouts, which are just like an all Laker purple colorway of the Kobe 10s, which I really like a lot. In my opinion, I like those a ton, and those will be releasing for $180. And so those are the big shoes. The Yeezys are a source of huge hype that will be building throughout the whole month. They release during AllStar Weekend, but the worldwide release is on the 28th of February, so expect a lot of hype for those. Kanye West actually said that his goal is that everyone who wants a pair of Yeezys will get a pair of Yeezys. So hopefully there will be a wider release than the original Yeezys were, and I'll try to have a pair for you guys so I can review some Yeezys. And also the Zeno Adidas Fluxes, I will be on a mission. I'm on a mission to get those. I really like those shoes a lot, and I'm on a mission to get those so they can be up here in the coming weeks. So those are the sneakers coming out and that have already come out. And like I always say, I hope you guys can get whatever you like. A lot of nice shoes. I didn't even mention I only mentioned the month of February, so you got a lot of stuff to look forward to in March, April, May, and even the summer. So I hope you guys can get what you like, and so those are the shoes. Alright guys, so before we get to the sneaker of the week real quick, there's some really important shoes that come out. The Laser 20s, I forgot to mention, come out for $250 on the 16th, and then the Laser 4s come out sometime during the next week. They haven't officially announced it, but expect those too. Also the high-end Air Jordan 1s, the Pinnacle Pack, what they're calling it, expect those in the coming days. I just couldn't, give you some of the shoes in February without giving you all of the nice shoes in February that are coming out. So that's that. And now let's move on to the sneak of the week. Before I start reviewing them, I'm gonna ask Herman to give a quick, his quick first review of the shoes.
Okay, so first off, I kind of like these shoes because what I see them as, I see them like the Rochruns of Adidas. And a couple things that I like about Adidas' version is how they have this kind of print over like the majority of the shoe. And I think if there's one thing Nike needs to take away from Adidas is that I think Nike needs to kind of learn from Adidas, take a page out their book. And Adidas is doing really well lately. They've stepped up their game, as in with the Xenos that Kabir talked about. With it has 3M that whenever you light it up on the shoe, it lights up, multicolor. That's really cool. And this type of kind of style where it's just one solid print all the way around the shoe. Another thing I like about the shoe is how there's the print, and the only other color besides the print is white. So I like how this shoe specifically, it stuck with the white because I'm a huge fan of shoes that are accented by white, and I just think the blue and the white complement each other pretty well, and I like this little waves. It's just a cool cool little image, and it looks pretty good on feet too.
Yeah, so the thing about the Flux is actually, let me preface this by just talking about the emergence of Adidas. I've tweeted this a lot from the Kings Court Twitter account that I really think that Adidas by the next 2 years might become like the best brand out there. In my opinion, I really think that Nike and Jordan are really kind of slacking because they're just kind of re-releasing either, re-releasing retros, or this is what Jordan's doing, re-releasing retros, or Nike is just, releasing their new line of basketball shoes. The Roches were Nike's probably last like huge success, but other than that, like nothing's really happened. They've tried to, throw out some new ideas with the with different colored foam posits, different colorways of retros. Jordan's trying to do some fashion stuff with the shines, and now Jordan's trying to come out with their own kind of Roche runs with the eclipses, and then but I really think that a lot of them are failures. Jordan's new, they're expanding right now. They're on the 29s. They'll probably be at the 30s soon, and the 30s are just the 29s are pretty nice, but I really don't think that little futuristic kind of look is really gonna get you that far. But Adidas, on the other hand, is simply just killing it. They have the Fluxes, first of all. They have the Fluxes. They have the tubulars. They have the Yeezys that are coming out. They have the EQT Support 93s, which are actually an old shoe, but they've added a lot of different colorways for them and collaborated with other stores and other brands for them. And Adidas is just doing a remarkable job. The Xeno was simply revolutionary. No one has ever done that, and now you're going to try to see a little horse race between Nike and Adidas to try to expand more. Adidas also has the Pure Boost and the Ultra Boost, which are amazing for comfort, as I've heard. And as far as looks, they're doing really well. Comfort, they're doing exceptional. Even they're getting into like the kind of fashion, kind of hipster world as well with the Yeezys look and the tubulars. So I really like what Adidas is doing. I've never actually worn these Fluxes because they're my little brothers and they're not my size. But I really like them. I'm just gonna review the shoe now for you guys. The whole upper is basically like synthetic leather. You can kind of hear it a little when I scratch on it. So that's pretty good because it's pretty good for breathability, it's good for flexibility, and it's also, it's pretty comfortable because it's light. You have the iconic 3 stripes right here. The whole upper is a complete ocean graphic, hence the name. This is the ocean colorway. So that's the ocean graphic. It's really cool, really unique. Adidas really appeals to people who like certain designs, and that's why the tubulars, some people like them, some people don't, and that's why for the Fluxes they have so many different colorways because people like different colorways and different colors appeal to different people. So the ocean one, I guess, appealed to my little brother, so that's why he got them. The midsole right here is just straight rubber, straight white rubber. It has a little dip right here, and I assume that's for people who want to use it for running. It's a little better for grip. Right here is a little, this kind of distinguishes it as a Flux rather than like a generic shoe. It's kind of like a little side panel with little of the synthetic right here in the graphic. If I go to the front you have the wave pattern going around the ocean. You have the little tab that says Adidas Torsion, and then laces white, and then the tongue says Adidas on it. It has the Adidas white logo, and then it's surrounded by the wave pattern. The insole area, the lining, first of all, is white, and then the insole, just standard, says Adidas. And then on the other side of the shoe, same as the first side, you got ocean print, whatever. 3 Adidas stripes, and then you have that little panel, and then you have the midsole going around, the rubber midsole. Back, you have those two side panels connecting, and it makes a little half circle or whatever. And then the soles, you can see they're a little bit worn because of my brother. They have little, I guess for running, they have some little textured areas for traction or whatever if you want to run.
It says torsion right here as well. And so yeah, those are the soles. The shoe, like when I just explained the shoe itself is not that complicated, and that's actually a good thing because I really am a fan of shoes that aren't complicated but are given like eye-popping colorways. Like in this case, it is the Ocean colorway. So I really like these shoes. They're really light. I've never tried on a pair of Fluxes. I hope that those Xeno Fluxes are the first ones that I get. Otherwise, I'll probably go with like the Mythology ones or the multicolor ones for you guys. And so that's the shoe. Really light, really comfortable. Overall, great design by Adidas. Adidas just killing it, and I think they will stay killing it. So great shoe.
That's it for today's show, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to, as always, follow us on Twitter and subscribe to the rest of our videos on YouTube. Yeah, guys, enjoy this AllStar Weekend coming up. It's going to be an extremely exciting weekend. And like I always say, please be sure to join us next week for our show. Hopefully, like I said, I can get those Yeezys and those Xenos for you guys by March. So subscribe to our show and join us next week. Thank you and see you next time.
And we gon' ride on forever. Wait, ride out together. Got no time to waste. Ain't no way these niggas stopping me. Oh no, flying from a mile away. It's not a problem, only real ones follow me. And I can